Peace to the saints. I hope that you all are paying close attention and you take this very seriously. I'm almost shaking from the level of opportunity that I see in the current marketplace. Some of you may have fear, and you absolutely should. For me, I'm just shaking, trembling with opportunity. Most of you should probably have fear, especially if you don't get to work on some of the items that I'm about to name. You should absolutely be asking questions during this session. This is probably one of the top 3 most important sessions I've ever done, if not number 1. Use the information below here and as well in the description of the video, or if you're kind enough to be watching on Twitch, on the Twitch profile. I wanted to talk to you about this. You may notice I've not gone live in some time. I don't know if it's been a week, 2 weeks, who knows, and frankly, who cares? But for the last 3 days, actually not 3 days, the last 48 hours, I've been working incessantly, utilizing AI tools to create really phenomenal products. I bring to you a message that only I can bring to you for the most part, because the other people who could bring this message to you are just way too rich to care. And most everyone else can. If you're a software developer, you were never a good business person. You don't understand revenue models in the software business. If you're a great business person, you might not be in the software business, and thereby you don't properly understand the true revolution that has occurred. There have been a lot of people who have talked to me, hey, check out this AI tool, check out this AI coding tool. And I've taken peeks at various moments only to find out that the tools were pretty underdeveloped. Now the tools are at a level that is astounding. I am at some level saddened for the people who did not get to utilize or learn software development before AI. Some of you go way back to when Ruby on Rails was popular. That's when I got into the game. However, that background knowledge will give you a great advantage at this time. Currently, AI software development is very good, but there still is a gap. So the AI software development is very good, and then there's a gap that must be filled to connect good AI generated code to various other integrations that are necessary to put a product on market. I'll talk about all of those in the practicum that I'll be doing soon. It's linked below in the school link. The reason it's a practicum, my most complex courses, I start as practicums, which is to say we do it real time because it's more complex. You'll notice I've put out several courses and none of them have been practicums except one. The only one was a course called How to Create and Monetize Your Own App, because web applications and technology is complex. AI, we're dealing with something that is complex. So you need to be able to ask me questions in real time. You need to be able to build in real time. You need to be able to see me do this with you, holding your hand. And for those who purchase the course and watch it later, that's fine. You'll at least get to see human beings interacting with me and asking the questions you may have. One thing I want you to understand is that the state of web development with AI, and when I say web development, you can use this interchangeably with web application or even mobile application. I understand that they're creating native apps as well. I frankly am doubtful that it's up to snuff. And then there are deployment issues. And that's why you need someone like me, someone who has some background in tech and in deployment and in all the integrations and API and all this other stuff to make the application functional for the market. So right now, an average everyday person could use some of these no-code solutions, but it'll still be a bit confusing to them. They'll be able to create applications, but they won't know how to properly deploy them or utilize the integrations needed for payment processing, for user authentication, for security, and all these other things. And most importantly, I really want you guys to understand this piece. You cannot properly utilize AI for development or coding, if you like, if you have no software background at all. Even though it says no coding and no experience needed, the reason that you need some background in software is because you need to understand how data is structured. You need to understand databases and back end. It allows you to communicate with the AI in a more effective way. Because remember, the AI is like an engineer, a software engineer. Still, it takes some know-how to communicate to a software engineer. So that being said, we're at a place where there's still some human experience, wisdom, and intelligence that's needed to use this stuff effectively. Now, here's the important part. Soon that will not be the case. Soon there will be solutions that do not require that prerequisite knowledge, understanding of backend, database, data structures, and app architecture and all that. It won't be necessary. Now, this is why I'm creating the course now, and you need to take it now and use it now, and nothing else is important. Your family's not important. Your girlfriend's not important. Your current job's not important. Nothing is important. Marquette, what are you talking about? You sound like a psychopath. For sure. Here's why. It's timing. You see, it's timing. I've been waiting my whole life for a great opportunity. And we're not in the baby boomer generation. We're not in the roaring 20s. We're not in the post-World War II era where America was just flourishing. You got to scrap right now. And you have an opportunity right now to be rich or to be poor. There's going to be nearly nothing in between, I promise you. And my definition of poor in the developed world is you're going to be on the par with the masses. So there's going to be whatever the masses are, which is going to be poor, not like homeless, but poor. And there's going to be the people who are very wealthy, and there's going to be a huge gap and drop off between the two. What is happening is that the AI technology is going to magnify your genius, your work ethic, your cleverness, your creativity, your imagination, your business know-how, if you have it. If you don't have it, then you are going to be left in the dust. Now, I want you guys to remember something, and I don't have time to be polite or to gift wrap any of this. This is very urgent stuff. Frankly, I don't even really want to be talking to you right now. I'd rather be working. Understand this. Before AI, I had like 6 businesses going. And I used to scratch my head looking at average men who have 1 job, maybe 2 jobs, some cases 3 jobs, or they have side hustles, or they're unemployed, or they can't find a job, or can't figure out how to start a business. I would look at them and I would think to myself, how is it I'm running 6 separate corporations that are in different verticals, yet you find it so hard to do much of anything? I found that to be very strange. So what I want you to understand is that the gap between me, or shall I say people like me, the productive, ambitious men and women, the gap between us and the average person is about to grow to monumental, canyon-like proportions. If you do not get started now, you will be left in the dustbin. And I want you all to know, yes, I'm gatekeeping the knowledge. I am gatekeeping the knowledge because worst is going to come to worst. Yes, we are in an economic apocalypse that is on the horizon for some of you. And for others, it is the greatest level of prosperity and ease that you will ever imagine. And I am gatekeeping for those who are like me, a part of this culture, for the saints. I have the link below to the practicum that I'm going to do to make sure that you are ready to go. Those who don't take the practicum, don't ask me any questions. I don't have any answers because I'm gatekeeping the answers. What I will be kind enough to do during this session is answer the questions that you do have, that you send in using the information below. And I'm going to make some predictions because I like to look like a prophet. I'm going to predict to you which businesses, like specific companies, are about to be destroyed, whether it's directly through them shutting down or they're going to completely have to reformulate what they do as a business, their core capacity. I'm going to specifically name companies, and you mark my words, within 3 years, they're gone, dead, irrelevant, non-existent. And you see, this is an important perspective that you've not gotten before because you're typically led into the thinking of what jobs are going to disappear. Oh, jobs are going to disappear, and it'll be the same parallel functions across all different company types. Like, for example, HR, human resources, it's going to contract like you've never seen before. Oh, why? Because the workforce is going to contract. But There are going to be entire freaking companies that don't matter anymore. And with the company gone, of course, all the employees are gone. Doesn't matter if you're the janitor, the COO, the CEO, or fill in the blank, C-suite or below, you're gone because the company is gone. And that's the part that people aren't talking about enough. We're going to get into it today, ladies and saints. I mean, if you choose, I have better things to do for sure. But I think that this is such a beautiful opportunity. I couldn't help but share with you guys, those of you who follow me. And I want you all to remember this moment. This is your life change right here. This is your life-changing moment right here. Promise you. If you understand what I'm about to say, this is your life-changing moment. Shout out to Mr. Chapman, writes tuition, peace of the saints. Appreciate you came in by PayPal. Now also acknowledge via Venmo. Shout out to Andre, who's the very first person supporting you, writes tuition for the live, peace of the saints. I appreciate you. Now also acknowledge Ramon writes, let's work. Peace of the saints. Oh, I've been working. Shout out to Brad writes, thank you for this topic. You are welcome. This is the most critical of topics. Shout out to Das. He writes, peace of the saints. So you believe even I should get the course and put the others like Boss You on the back burner for now. I was saving money to purchase. Listen. If you did not yet purchase Boss University and you were saving money for Boss University, I would probably get this course if I were you. Now, granted, I've not met you. I don't know your ambition level. I don't know your intellect, but the opportunity that is going to be revealed in the course is something that can put you on a path that'll be staggering. You may get in the course, get the information, and not be able to apply it. At least having the understanding, you'll know what you're up against. And maybe you might be wise enough that if you can't create your own product that's going to blast you into the stratosphere, you might be able to join on to someone else's business. But knowing very little about you, listen, if you were my father, my son, my brother, anyone that I cared about, I'd say, yeah, this is the one. This is the one for sure. And I want to be fully transparent. Some of you might not be ambitious enough. Some of you might not be bright enough. Ain't no helping that. Ain't no helping that. But if you don't want to be broke in the future, if you want access to making hundreds of millions of dollars, if you want to understand what is coming for you in the near term, in terms of the economy, what will it look like? What jobs are not even worth trying for? You might want to listen in. Anyways, he writes, I'll save money to purchase. That's very wise. Don't ever buy anything on credit. Save your money. That's very smart. Shout out to Philip supporting the work. Peace of saints. Good to see you, Philip. And also acknowledge Andre. He writes, number one, how can I utilize AI in the early stages of my product-based business? Very good question. Well, you have a tangible product. What I'm going to be talking about primarily are the intangible things that AI is about to be able to do for the world. And particularly, who cares about the world, do for us as business people, us as entrepreneurs. AI right now, the true beauty of it is for the entrepreneur. It's not for the consumer. It's not for the sleeper. It's for the creator, the entrepreneur. When I say creator, I'm not talking about content creator, because content creators are done. They're done. You hear me? It's one of the verticals. They're done. They're irrelevant. And I hope you guys are taking me very seriously, like deadly seriously, as I'm speaking right now. He writes, my current goal is to sell 10 bags daily running IG ads. Very good. Again, this is what I'm about to talk about is not focused on tangibles. The best thing you can do is utilize AI to crunch data and information to better understand the psychology of your buyer and to analyze your existing workflows, sales channels, and marketing schemes. But what I'm about to talk about and focus you guys on are the intangible, the software-based products, those things you can't hold in your hand, and therefore they have high profit margins. You can reduce the number of workers. You can scale very quickly. You can reach around the world. You can deploy immediately. That's what I'm focused on right now. I have tangible products. This watch, for example, the sweats I'm wearing at sasmbrand.com, and none of it matters right now. We're not talking about the casual uses of AI for analyzing information. We're talking about the highly practical uses for creating softwares of tomorrow, but doing it today because tomorrow's too late. Promise you. Anyways, he writes, would you recommend that I take the AI course with zero background in software and limited capital at the moment? So if you have limited capital, I don't know precisely what your situation is. So I couldn't speak to how you should allocate capital if you have limited capital. But one thing I generally say is go forward like a fearless lunatic, especially if you don't have children, you don't have any children. I'd say go for it. And this is including if you have a wife, this is including if you have family responsibilities, like, hey, screw all of them, Because in my opinion, this is the difference between I'm about to become a 100 millionaire versus I'm about to be average, which means broke. In the future, average is broke. In the future, average is not middle class. Average is broke. You see, AI is eradicating people who are of average or slightly above average intelligence, people who are of average or slightly above average taste and creativity. AI is eradicating people who are not enormous risk takers. AI is eradicating people who are not rule breakers. Clip that. For example, when I just said that, that just created for me a short. Yes? Video editor, fired. Don't need them. You see my point? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I used to have a whole staff of people doing that. And now I just use that one term and all of a sudden it's getting to work. Do you understand what I'm saying? Oh, and that was software, by the way. That's not a tangible. And in just using those two words in conjunction with AI software, I've been able to reduce my payroll by $4,000. That's extraordinary. Like, I want to do the supervillain laugh right now. Come on now. Yeah, we're getting into it. You see, and here's what I want you guys to understand. For those of you who are wise enough to be watching this session should have at least 20,000 people watching it. That's how important it is. But I've always said, some people, you couldn't rip them out of their poverty. They hold on to it like a homeless person holds their last dollar. Yes, this should be flooded with questions. Flooded, especially if you're not already touching at least $2 million, like comfortably. You should have a lot of questions. If you are touching $2 million comfortably, you should be trying to figure out how you can use this stuff. But you see, what AI is going to do, it's going to lock a lot of you guys in your existing place. Marquette, what do you mean? And remember, I'm the first person to say this. Artificial intelligence and its ability to pump out content, whether the content is good or not, just flood the market, and also pump out the likeness of very beautiful, articulate, knowledgeable faces, which may not exist in real life. There will be no celebrities in the future. If you're a celebrity now, fantastic, you can carry on. But there will be no new celebrities created. Clip that. And the reason there will be no new celebrities created is because AI is going to be more attractive, more articulate, and it's going to work harder than a human being can. And it can appear in an infinite number of places, doing an infinite number of things at low cost. So it doesn't make sense to actually pay a human being to act or to become a celebrity. Clip that. Come on now. Anyways, the individual writes, my question is, what exactly will I be learning? Very good. So on the technical side, what you're going to be learning is software development using AI, in short. And when I say software, it's not only web applications and or mobile applications, which is something like you're using right now, like YouTube or Gmail, fill in the blank. These are all applications. But in addition, what I'm going to teach you is how to utilize the integrations that make the application useful to everyday people and, more importantly, profitable. And only I can do that in as much as most people who know software, they know software. They don't know business. They don't know revenue models. And in addition to that, most people who are great with business and revenue, they don't know software. I'm at a unique intersection, and I have the time and the interest because I'm not currently running a software company. Remember, when I stopped YouTube, I was running a successful did I say when I stopped YouTube? When I started YouTube, I was running a successful software business. You see, so I came in here fresh out of the software game, haven't put out any major projects since, you know, fiddled around because I said to myself, man, I was not really enjoying life when I was running the software business because remember, my software business was quite complex. We were native on 2 different platforms. Hello? Okay. Thought I heard someone knock. We were native on 2 different platforms. We had like 4 different faces to our web application, facing students, facing professors, facing college administrators, facing our team. We had hardware. We had to program firmware into the hardware devices, had a whole factory producing our hardware devices, had to have a deployment team to put up the hardware throughout the university. It was actually quite sophisticated. So I was like, no, I don't want to do that. A lot of employees, different time zones, I was always working. And now that so much of that has been reduced, oh man, I think I got to dive back in. I really do. I really do. It's irresistible. It's irresistible. And if you don't understand how prevalent software is in your life, try to go a day without using it. It's impossible. It's impossible. Impossible. Or whether we're talking about free or paid technology, it's impossible. You're watching me through software, YouTube. You have a phone in your hand. All of it is software. Everything has software, and increasingly more things will have software, and it's not even necessary. I saw there used to be these things when I was very young called Tickle Me Elmos, all the craze. It was a little stuffed animal that laughs when you pick it up. Goofy. Now they have stuffed animals with AI where it can learn your child's name and it can read your child a story of the variety that your child requests. It can give your child information. It's an internet connected device. So all of that should indicate to you that technology will be everywhere, even where it's not productive. If you are a creator of technology, you will have a great advantage. But know this, AI is going to allow people like me to overproduce and saturate markets and keep out people like you if you're an unproductive person, or if you're a person who's late to the game, or a person who doesn't have a background in the game. That's why I'm gatekeeping. I'm gatekeeping on purpose because I truly understand the economic system, which relies on scarcity. That's capitalism. Some people have to be in scarcity, and some people are going to accumulate at an extraordinary level. And the reason that we're not going to have any communism or capitalism, which is to say true equality, not even the Chinese are communists, is because no human being actually wants that. We want hierarchy. We want to be, you can't floss if everyone has the same stuff, right? I can't floss on you if everyone's driving a Rolls Royce or a Maybach. I can't floss. I have to have some people driving a Toyota. That's why I'm gatekeeping, because I want some people to be in the Toyota so they look at the Rolls like, God, that's crazy. Okay, I just want you to know, in case you're like wondering about my motivations. Now, here's the thing. I love my people. I love my tribe. So the Saints, I'm going to take care of you. You get the course. Well, we're going to go through it. I'm going to share all my secrets. But I want you to understand this. I want you to understand this. I want you to understand what is about to die and go away. You might be working for a company that today is a great company. It's going to die. You might be in a job that today is a great job. It's going to die. Yeah, we're going to talk about all of it. Yeah. Yes. Says I'm not effing with AI. That's okay. That's okay. Don't do it. I don't want you to. I don't want you to. More money for me. More money for me. Listen, here's a funny thing. If you know anything about me, I despise technology. I despise people being overly connected to technology. I despise low IQ people saying dumb things like, oh, I don't know, let me ask ChatGPT. I despise that. Listen, on Instagram, I don't even follow anybody, because when I first started my Instagram account, I wasn't following anybody because I didn't even understand. I was like, what is an app with pictures? This is so silly. But I use it as a business tool. I use it to my advantage. I don't use it to enjoy. I despise technology. I use it as a tool. I'm not there to have a good time. I'm there to use it as a tool. So I agree with you, FAI. But I'm going to use it to my best advantage, and I'm going to hope that you don't use it so that everything I'm doing appears to be magical. Okay? I am going to thrive by your lack of understanding and your lack of effort. Come on now. We're getting into it. Anyways, thank you for that question, Andre. And you're asking the right questions, and I want everyone to understand this. If you are asking certain questions, like the kind of questions Andre is asking, I think he needs to take the Book of Dark Truths. Andre, if you haven't got the Book of Dark Truths, that might be a good place to start to get your mentality right. If you do have it, I'm gonna need you to review it. I'm going to absolutely need you to review it. And I want all of you guys to understand, listen, you think it's a dog eat dog world now? Man, this world is about to get scary. Boy, this world is about to get so scary. On the hierarchy of human intelligence, there are people, so let's say this is the mean. There are people who are here, they already have an advantage over you. Yes? What we're about to do is we're going to bring in AI right now, and AI is probably just a little bit above average people. So that's creating competition for you. Yes? And then the people up here who are already brighter than you, they're using the latest in tools that are going to make them seem a little smarter than they even are. And it's going to magnify and multiply their ability to take action. You don't understand how scared you should be right now. If you're not about to do if you're about to get off of this live session and like not do anything, it's crazy. It's actually crazy. There's not one traditional school on earth that is teaching you the right thing for you to thrive. There's not one, because AI is so bleeding edge right now that I looked into people like, hey, I'm using AI to code. In fact, just last Saints weekend, one of the Saints, shout out to my young boy, Matthew, he was like, hey, Marquette, check out this. I use AI to code this. And the work product was like, I looked into AI a couple months after that. Looked into AI a month ago. Oh my God, this is so good. It's just unbelievably good, and it's going to get better. You have to get on it now. You have to get on it now. Just like I told you, there won't be any new celebrities. You see, there won't be any new celebrities. The people who are celebrities or who are known figures now, great. You made it. There won't be any more. Nope. Absolutely not. Because think of it this way. I want to help you understand. My unique advantage over any person I have a debate with or go on a panel with is I have very high IQ. A component of IQ is memory, both short-term and long-term. And then your ability to understand and to, go through information and truly get it and add nuance. That's my advantage. So when I'm sitting in front of someone, they can mention the most obscure, irrelevant place like Lesotho or Togo or Benin or Tirana and the random cities. And I can be like, oh, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, this is the population. This is the capital. This is their major export. This is their history and wars. Here are the notable public figures. Here's how they matter geopolitically. Because my ability to recall things like that is extraordinary. But that will be irrelevant when you can use an avatar that's just as good looking, just as well dressed, but has way more knowledge. In fact, an infinite amount of knowledge. So I'm irrelevant. You cannot recreate Marquette Devon Burton from today forward because AI is going to be better. But the only reason people are going to want to listen to me moving forward is because there's a couple things that will still have high value. Trust and personality and rule breaking. Trust. I know your face. I know you're a real person. In the future, there may be avatars that are good looking and well dressed. You can't tell if it's a real person or an avatar. Marquette, what do you mean? Go sign into ChatGPT. It's going to ask you to select a personality. Choose a professional personality. Choose a quirky personality. Choose a friendly and encouraging personality. Choose a dry personality. If AI has personality, little buddy, what it's letting you know is that it's becoming increasingly human-like. And especially if you're an average human in terms of IQ, you will not be able to tell the difference. So this person says, I don't have any natural inclination in math. You won't need any significant mathematical ability for the course that I'm going to teach. He writes, no experience in coding. You won't need any experience in coding. I'm going to teach you the basics of what you will need. If you happen to be an ambitious person, I need you to be ambitious. If you're not ambitious, don't take the course. Listen, I'm going to save you some money. If you're not ambitious, don't take the course. If you don't want to get rich, don't take the course. What else? If you're not diligent and patient, but also in a rush at the same time, don't take the course. Mark, what do you mean diligent, patient? And you're saying patient and impatient? That's right, buddy. Patient, because software development, you encounter bugs. There's all sorts of errors that are going to occur. You're going to have to fix things. You're going to have to redo things. Patience. But also urgent. You're going to have to push out the product before it's ready. You're going to have to really push people to use the product. I'm talking about that thing before marketing, when you got to get your friends and family to use it. We're also going to talk about raising capital in the context of this course, because some dweebs can teach you how to use AI, but they can't teach you how to raise $1 million to get your company off the ground. Here's the good news: you won't have to raise as much money in this era. For example, in the last tech business that I made that was very successful, we raised a tremendous amount of money from many institutions, many investors throughout the country and world. We had investors in China, we had investors in South Korea, we had investors in Puerto Rico and in the United States. Why? Because it used to take an awful lot of money and time to build a software as robust as the one that I built, which was not only software, but also had a hardware component. Now it would take a fraction of that money. And the good news is that you can get off of the ground and get a really good market ready. I don't even want to use the word prototype. You can get a market ready, shiesty, minimum viable product out in the hands of consumers that's actually working. You hear me? That's actually working. Before, depending on what kind of tech you were trying to produce, you might need 60,000 just to get it working. Just to get it working. You hear me? Come on. This is a different time. You might need 60,000 and 3 good engineers. Come on, man. Yes. Listen, and I want you guys here to know this as well. You can see a number of people talk about, oh, I'm building software. I'm building this. Ask them, how much money have you made in software? How much capital have you raised in software? Show me some news articles with you in them from being in the software business. If you ain't been in the papers, yeah, you can use AI to create technology, but you never made $1 in the software business. So why would I think you can do it now all of a sudden? Because basically you're coming in at the same level of everybody else, which is kind of no knowledge and no background experience. Come on now. you about to have a lot of charlatans out here. Yeah, we're going to get into it. Believe that. Shout out to Kinchley supporting the work. Came in via the Stripe link, which is in the description. A couple folks got the course. I'm not even going to acknowledge all of them because we don't have time like that today. I want to just bless you guys with a couple things that I really want you to know. A couple very important things. I want you to know if your job is about to be gone. I want you to know which corporations are about to suffer because you might be working in it. And if you're not working in one of those corporations, I want you to be able to take a short position and make some money as those corporations crash. Listen to me. In the last 48 hours, I haven't even checked my stock portfolio. I've been seeing trades executing automatically. I had some trades around the Costco Corporation, which I'm long on Costco. I've seen that making some movement. There's another, I think it's called JB Hunt. I think it's a transportation company, international transportation and logistics. I just sold some of that. It was an automated trade that I had set up. The market is moving right now. In other words, any other time, any other season of life, man, I'll be so deep into my paper assets right now trying to figure that stuff out. It's not important right now. That's going to make me some percentage of money, percentages, let's say between 5 to 20% on some of the trades that have been executed. That has no freaking validity compared to the financial opportunity that we're about to open up with this AI. And for those of you who take the practicum, I'm going to do something really cool. And and I'll tell you what, if you took my how to create and monetize your own app, I'm going to give you a 10% discount. If you took that one, I'm going to give you a 10% discount on this new course. And the reason I'm going to do that for you is because I think it's so beautiful how you will be able to see how technology has had such a huge jump just from when that first course came out to now we're doing it with AI. And you'll be able to see the parts that are different to where in the last course, I was like, okay, here's how you secure the technical talent that you need. Here's how you communicate with the software developer and tell them what you need. And, okay, boom, have them build this. Okay, now we need to QA it ourselves and have them do this. And this is how much this should cost. And this is how you vet the right software developer, and don't get software developers from this country. None of that is relevant. We're going to show you how we've seen a quantum leap in technology during this short time we've been alive. You hear me? A quantum leap. This is what we're living in right now. There was something called the dot-com bubble. We were not old enough for that. We missed out on that. Either you were too young or too broke, or both. We missed out on that. Right now, we're in the midst of something that's even better, because the dot-com bubble was not thinking. It was replacing human beings, but it was not thinking for human beings. We're replacing human beings with human beings. The dot-com was replacing human beings with tools. We're replacing human beings with human beings. Okay? You don't understand. You don't understand right now. This stuff is getting crazy. Anyways, let me acknowledge the folks who have questions. Also, as I said, I've been building technology, and just got an important email right here. It says, thanks for blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Confirm. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Please note. Okay. Roger that. Excellent. Very good. Shout out to Tony. Shout out to Kyle. Shout out to Jonathan. They got the course. Jonathan was the first person to get the course, so shout out to him. He has the right mentality. So much I want you guys to understand that it's not about doing the right thing. Sometimes it's about doing it first. Sometimes it's about doing it the best. Sometimes it's about doing it the loudest. In Boston University, we talk about these things. Am I in a volume business? Am I in a quality business? How important is timing? Listen, this is really important stuff, ladies and saints. And if you know, the only thing that you can be thankful for, all of you, even though I'm about to gatekeep this knowledge, believe that, the thing that you can be truly thankful for is that you got to hear this right now from someone who is heartbeat serious, and you had a chance. There were some things we didn't have a chance on. I was getting out of college when the housing market was crashing. I was a broke college kid. I didn't have any money to buy cheap real estate. I was just getting out of college when it was crashing. The economy was contracting. I graduated from a prestigious university. I graduated from the best university at the worst time. I didn't have an opportunity to capitalize. Right now, you have an opportunity to capitalize. I'm telling you right now, this is our buy those stocks cheap. The stock market just crashed moment. This is the housing market just crashed. Go buy some houses moment. This is it's the dot-com bubble, but the bubble hasn't burst. The bubble's growing moment. This is our time. Give it a shot. You may not win, but you're opening yourself up to the opportunity to make hundreds of millions of dollars. Maybe you make 2 million, maybe you make 10 million. Fantastic. But you're opening yourself up to the opportunity. But here's what I can guarantee you. If you don't do anything, you will remain in the same place. So I promise you this, if you don't do anything, you're going to be broke. If you do something and fail, you're going to be broke. Fantastic. But here's the difference. If you do something, you have a chance to not be broke. You have a chance. You better take the chance. I promise you. There's no downside. It's only upside. He says, what's the course link? I don't even have the exact course link, but I do have the school link. You go to school.com/Marquette /courses or something like that. I don't know. I don't really care. If you can't figure that out, if you can't figure that out, you got bigger fish to fry, my boy. On God. You heard me? On God. I just feel like I'm here doing the moral thing, which is to share this with you. I almost feel like it's immoral not to give you the chance. I think the link is in the description of the video. It's school.com/Marquette/ just click courses, something like that. I don't know. I don't care. But if you can't figure that out, you ain't gonna figure out, what's in the course. I promise you. And the funny thing is, people might not want to help you. People might not want to help you, bro. I hope somebody does help you, but people might not want to help you. And I'm not gonna lie to you. This world is competitive. People have a pretend of, oh, let's all get along. Let's kumbaya. When it comes to getting this money, man, bruh, people are out for themselves. They're out for their family. Look at Trump and look at how his family's stealing. Look at how his son has multiplied his wealth by 6 times since Trump became president just a year ago. 6 times? It's ridiculous. You can only do that by stealing, cheating, and lying. Come on now. Everybody's out for themselves, my boy. You better get on the good foot, man. Shout out to Andre. I see he just got the course. Let me acknowledge some of the folks asking questions. And we're going to really talk about it today. I am going to probably cut this live session a little under 2 hours. So just a heads up, send your comments, questions in early if you don't mind. All right, let's see. Today's the 18th. May I acknowledge Mario? He writes, Peace of Saints, been saving money for a golden opportunity. I guess I will get to test my brain with this. Yes, you will, Mario. Yes, you absolutely will. And I tell you what, the beautiful thing about me doing this as a practicum is that as we're working through, someone within the course may have a brilliant idea. Work with that person. You don't always have to be the number one guy. You can be the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5 guy. That's what people underrate. And that's how I know people. He says, I searched your name on school, 1,000 results came up. Okay, let me help Brody out here. Let me show Brody some love right here. And I'm telling you guys straight up right now, I'm doing it as a practicum because it's not simple stuff. It's not what you would call easy. But if it was easy, everybody would be rich and being rich would not be a thing. Okay? So I just want you guys to know off rip, that's what it is. It's not going to be easy. You know, I'm not signing you up for get rich quick. Actually, it is get rich quick. It is get rich quick, but it's not get rich easy. There it is, school.com/Marquette/classroom. And it's a practicum. It's going to start in about 2 weeks. Okay. Look at this imbecile. Buy Bitcoin. I'm about to ban you from my goddamn life because you're a liar and a scammer and a fool. Being stupid is evil. Being stupid is evil. I absolutely hate people saying stuff like, buy Bitcoin. If it was that easy, don't you think we'd all be rich off of Bitcoin? You are a moron and a liar. God damn it. Send in your comments, questions. I'll be right back. And idiots. See, that's the most dangerous thing, are idiots. I wish next to your name, it would show your current net worth. You'd hear, it'd be crickets out there. People wouldn't say anything. It would show your net worth next to your name. People wouldn't say anything. You hear me? Listen, man, people can say what they want to say about me. But one thing is for sure, from the very beginning, ever since you even heard the word cryptocurrency or NFT, I always told you it was a scam. I always told you it was a scam. Now, here's the thing. If you're winning in the scam, fantastic. By the way, stock market's a scam too, but you got a better chance because there's an underlying asset. With regards to the NFTs and the crypto, if you're not in early, it's too late. And it's so volatile because there's no underlying value. There's no underlying asset. So you're gambling in one of the most dangerous ways. You'd only be worse off to deal in a Vegas casino, playing spin the wheel. Look at this. Very good buy, but not Bitcoin. Listen, man, are you guys not understand? These people are trying to get rich without working. That's the problem. Bitcoin and all of these schemes are good for people who think they're going to get rich without working. Extraordinary. Extraordinary. Once I get back over that, I want to tell you guys a quick story about the last rich crypto guy I met. Major air quotes around rich. I may have told this story before because it's pretty funny. There's this guy who, long story short, some of you who are saints may know that I used to have 2 apartments in one building in Las Vegas, right? So I had 2 apartments in this one building. And I used to park a couple of my cars there. So there was one time I was getting into one of my cars, the i8 in this particular case, and I had to park it near the entrance from the parking garage into the building. There's this one woman, just real busty black woman, just huge body all over the place. I was like, dang. So she was unloading groceries from the car. She walks in. Then her man comes out. And I'm sitting in the car charging up my i8, the one with the convertible top. And he's like, oh, man, this is my dream car. I was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, I was wondering whose car this was. So, okay, for sure. Now, I didn't really have much conversation to give this guy because I'd seen him before. He didn't seem like he wanted to have conversation then. Don't have conversation now, little buddy. Oh, absolutely not. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to slap vibes with you now, especially not all of a sudden. Oh, yeah, man, this is my dream car. Okay, for sure. He's like, yeah, man, like in the last, I forget how much, like the last 6 months of the last year, I made $1 million in crypto. And when he said that in my head, I was like, well, if you made $1 million, just buy the car. I forget how much it is. I want to say $180,000, I think, if I recall correctly. It's $180,000. Just buy the car. If this is your dream car and you made $1 million in the last year, just buy the car. But you didn't make $1 million. And this is your dream car, and it will always be a dream car. You will have it when you're dreaming, sleeping, when your mind is simulating things that are not real. That's when you'll have the car, because the money that you earned in the last year is not real. It's a figment of your imagination, a lie. Come on now. Nonsense. I've not ever been in Monaco. I've not been in Dubai. I've not been in the south of France. I've not been anywhere that matters. I've not been on a private island, private beaches, private islands, and off the coast of what was that? Diani? Where's that off the coast of Southeast Africa? Off the coast of, was that Tanzania? Kenya? I think it was off the coast of Kenya. Everywhere I've been that matters, at the Grand Prix, all of the places I've been that matters, I never meet any crypto millionaires. Never once have I met someone and they're like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I do X, Y, and Z. What do you do? And they're like, oh, I'm a crypto millionaire. Never have I met these people. It says, when will the course go live? In approximately 2 weeks, probably earlier at a random time. The good news is everything that I do live, you'll be able to join, ask questions real time. You'll come on screen. We'll actually get the work done collectively, kind of like a company. And if you're not there, you'll have the replay to watch. And there'll be a number of sessions because we're going to be building real tech. Anyways, oh yeah, and when you say, how much is it? I never say, because I always want to increase the price. And you should always increase the price. Yes, of course, increase the price. So I release it early for people who are ready and prepared, and they get the early pricing. And then I increase the price to the market pricing. Yes. So I never say the price in a live session, because the price is invariably going to increase. And of course, if you watch the way things are going with this bull Trump, my fault. You watch the way things are going with this bull Trump and the constant freaking inflation, man, I got to keep up with inflation. You better believe the price is increasing. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I tell you what, let me mess around and make too much money on a tech product. I'm going to take the course down. Marquette, why would you take the course down if it's making money? Because I don't want nobody else to make money with my secrets. That's why. I don't want anyone else to make money with my secrets. It's kind of like this. Say you're a game spitter. You got the perfect line that gets every girl you want. Well, if it's getting every girl you want, you don't want to tell the line to somebody else. Some other dude use the line. He might get the girl that you wanted. Nah, bro. Yeah, we keeping the gate closed out here, buddy. Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Anyways, shout out to Issachar, came in a strong way via Venmo. May I also acknowledge Daz. He writes, I know I have the ambition. I don't know what my IQ is. What is the best angle for me once I purchase the course? I'd say the best angle for you is to watch everything. One thing I do know about you, Daz, is that you're diligent and you pay attention. So that's a great start. So go through every lesson of the course, whether you're on there live, real time, or you go back and watch it on the back end. Fine. Fantastic. Yeah, that's correct. That's the course. So soak up every bit of the course, hyper focus on the part that's about revenue model, because being that AI is going to make it very easy to develop technology. Just like content is going to flood there's going to be a flood of content, whether it's high quality or low quality, there's going to be so much. Similar with AI development, there's going to be so much tech. Most of it's going to be free. The only tech you're going to pay for is the tech where the person who created the tech really created a value add. The tech is very streamlined and the revenue model is good and appropriate. So hyper focus on that part and partner with people. Something we really underrate is experience. The reason my tech businesses worked is because before I started a tech company, I worked for a tech company. I did $4 million in sales by myself as a young man. And I controlled the Pacific Northwest, the state of Oregon, the state of Washington, and then Northern California. That whole territory I worked in, I sold software, B2B, successfully, $4 million worth. And I interfaced with large banks, financial institutions. So when I came into the software startup game, I'd already worked for the software business that was high growth and very successful. And I'd already sold $4 million worth of product. So I knew that I knew how to sell and I knew how to deploy software. I knew the B2B game. So that's how I ended up starting a B2B software business. Now I only do B2C, only B2C. But here's the key. If you would have started out of nowhere without any of the background I had, it would have been so much harder. So what I did is I learned on someone else's dime. I came up under someone else. I didn't walk in and try to be the boss the first day. So the worst thing you could do is say, okay, I'm going to take this course and then go become the CEO of my own startup. I'm fresh out of college, never been in a big business, never been in a software business. That'd be foolish. You might be wise to take the course and use the course to network, right? Use the course to say, okay, damn, that guy seems really like one thing I'm really good at. And I learned this from my mother because my mother's not an above average IQ person by any means, but she is above average hustle and she's above average resourcefulness. And so my mom's good at asking for help and I'm good at sourcing talent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick back. I'm going to take the whole course. I'm going to learn everything in the course. And if I got an idea and I can take lead, great, I'm going to take lead. If I don't, and people like, man, that guy's really smart. He's really good with the software. Oh man, that guy's really good with business ideas. Or man, this guy's always like actually delivering. He's always has some kind of work product. Let me bring all three of them together. Or let me join up under this guy. Let me join up under that person. He's the one. Figure that out. Like you don't always have to be the one. Be the 2, 3, 4, 5. The idea of being the CEO is overrated. Most of you don't have the ability to manage stress to be the CEO. Not that you need to be stressed. You don't. You live in the West. There's nothing that should stress you, literally nothing. But it's the ability to figure out who's the mover and the shaker, because you're always, if you're in a room that's big, there's somebody in there that can get something done. Why aren't you friends with them? Why aren't you working with them? Come on. Like, just listen. The course is, I think, 900 something bucks. I don't know. Maybe it's a little less. Maybe it's a little more. I don't care. I'm not buying it. I'm leading it. Whoever's in the course, step one, they're not broke. That's a W already. So everyone you're networking with, is not broke. That's a good start. Step two, that these people are ambitious. You might partner with them, work on a business that fails, and then turn around, work on a different business that doesn't fail. My good buddy, Seth, we were both working on 2 different businesses. His went belly under, mine kept going. We created another business together that did some numbers. We created like 3 different businesses together. Every business might not win, but the skill set that you develop on the path is what wins. For example, my business that I'd ended when that pestilence that came out of the Wuhan lab spread around the world, that business, it got me into BLE technology and leveraging my understanding of Bluetooth and everything involved with proximity and location. And I used that to springboard onto another company with Seth. And we created something called My Key. And My Key was similar to, I think it's called Tile. I don't know if they changed the name. And Apple created a version of it too. I don't know what the Apple version was called. But basically, like if you lose your keys, it was like a little Bluetooth device you keep on your key, and you can use kind of GPS indoors, if you will, to track your keys and find them. So I directly used the skills and understanding of BLE tech, applied it to another vertical, and was successful, and brought Seth on because he's a phenomenal engineer. And we made money. Exactly. AirTags. Thank you. And we were doing this before AirTags. Just for the record, so people know what's up with me. We're doing this before AirTags. So the knowledge that you gain along the way is what you apply consistently, and it's going to put you in the air, man. It's going to put you in the air. So you might come out of the course. You might not necessarily have your product ready to go. You might work on someone else's product or work on someone else's team. But I promise you, it's going to be these foundational skills and relationships that are going to take you to the next level. Seth, we created new businesses that made money. We created new technologies that made money together. That's the game. Come on now. He says, can your course work outside of first world countries? Yeah, for sure. Because here's the thing. I don't know if you're saying just can you access it from a technological standpoint? Yeah, of course you can access it. But can you apply the technology? Yeah, for sure. You're in an emerging market. Your goal, if you're in a developing country, is to be the first. I mean, you have a unique opportunity to create something in a market that's fairly empty and non-competitive. That's awesome. Like there's so many, I remember coming to Africa many years ago, the continent, and some people are like, don't, Africa's, they're different countries. Yeah, I know, fool. But when I was coming to the continent, I was going to many countries. So I'm speaking of Africa, doofus. So anyways, early on, they didn't have the kind of payment solutions that you'll find in the first world. You didn't have the Zelle, the Venmo, the Cash App, and PayPal. You didn't have it. And so if you were the first mover in that African market, I mean, good Lord, you had market dominance. And they're not breaking up monopolies because they can't. If they broke up the monopoly, there'd be nothing. It'd be a vacuum. So yeah, let's get rich out here, man. I don't care where you are. People act like Dangote's not a millionaire in an economy that is fairly underdeveloped and could be a little bit more diverse and could be food self-sufficient. I mean, while we're at it, right? Anyways, carrying on. May I also acknowledge Andre, he writes, I can afford the course, just not sure if I'm qualified to take the course. My product is tangible. My business is a baby still. Well, I tell you what, Andre. Actually, I think I got this late. Okay, got you. Shout out to Rafiq. He writes, peace to the saints. Hey, Mr. Burton, I work at Amazon and am building capital to invest into product-based business. I have around $1,200 saved up. Should I use it to start the product-based business or buy the AI course? What's the best option right now? Again, Rafiq, I'm not familiar with you personally, and this is one of the great things about being a member and like being a part of a section and having come to events or coming to events is that, I can be familiar with you guys, but I tell you what, if I were you and I don't know anything about you, now let's be real, depending on who you are, selling tangible products will be easier for you, right? Like, this is an outlet converter right here, selling this is much more of a straightforward proposition and will be easier for some personalities. That'll be easier. Selling software may be harder for people, but in terms of what's going to be better in the long run, just assuming you're a reasonably bright, reasonably ambitious person, software by far is not even close, my nil. It's not even close. I mean, by far. So I tell you this is my advice to you guys, and just pay attention. I would rather open you up to being filthy rich and say, hey man, maybe you spend your $900 and you figure out like, I can't do this. Cool. It is what it is. I'd rather spend $900 to figure out if I can get filthy rich than to like be scared. I always say, go for it like a fearless lunatic. And when I get deeper into this lecture, I think you guys will better understand what the proposition really is as I get deeper into this lecture. Gentleman says, I'm already subscribed to Patreon, but how do I actually become an active member of the Assassin movement? By showing up to in-person events. There's a lot of free events that we do in your sections, free workouts, free socials, or you come to an event that we put on. We just had Saints Weekend, which was utterly phenomenal. We'll release some content on that. I've not released much because I've been working. Okay, now let's see. May I acknowledge Jinxie supporting the workplace. Peace of Saints. Shout out to Jinxie. I just saw him. I'm also acknowledge Cameron. He writes, Peace of Saints. If I'm understanding correctly, AI will let companies scale down so that just 1 to 3 people can run a multi-million-dollar business. Depends on the nature of the business. The software companies for sure. And many companies, so software companies can scale way down, but also some of them will be completely destroyed and obliterated. And I'll explain which ones and why. He writes, do you see the same thing happening in labor markets like plumbing, electrical work, etc.? Hell nah. In fact, that's where people need to go. And I should probably do a totally separate. In fact, let me just state right now clearly. AI is about to reestablish the patriarchy. And the reason is we're going to see significant pay going to plumbers, electrician, and those parts of labor that require strength, know-how, and physical work. So a lot of the jobs that Karens have, HR, writing, content, authors, it's going away. And so we're going to find that men, especially tradesmen, are about to make a rebound. And we're going to find higher levels of unemployment from those who thought that they were smart and they were doing brain work. So welcome to the new era. You didn't realize that your college degree did not protect you from the future of work. Your college degree, if it wasn't in anything significant, if it was in sociology, if it was in writing, if it was in English language arts, yep, you're about to be outperformed by a plumber and an electrician. So I'm going to need you women to start becoming humble. Clip that. Yes, indeed. It's a beautiful world out here. So yeah, absolutely. I highly recommend that people go into the trades now more than ever, because it will take a significant amount of time to get robots ready to go. Now, I never built robots, but I have been in the hardware business, and you have to have the hardware, the physical aspects; those have to function. They need something called firmware, which is the software on the physical device, so to speak. And then that has to communicate with some other thing, whether it's another device via Bluetooth or it's another device via Wi-Fi. And so it's actually quite complex, and it's going to be too expensive for it to be easily accessible to everyday people. So it'll be some time before that reaches the mass market, and before humanoid robots are competent enough to replace skilled tradesmen. So I highly recommend people go into those fields. I think that those fields are going to thrive for another 20 years. Actually, let me not be so ambitious, at least 10 years. And 10 years of good income will be helpful to any of us. So I think it's a worthwhile investment of time. So at least 10 years, 10 solid years, maybe more. Thank you for that question. That's a very intelligent question. And I am going to later on in the lecture address the piece about which companies will be scaling down and which companies will be completely disappearing or reinventing themselves. And when I say reinvention, I mean you won't be able to recognize them. They might have the same name, but their core capacity will be radically different. Shout out to Chatty, right? Showing love to those who show love to you. Appreciate the hard work. Malcolm X video. Oh, absolutely, man. People hate to hear the truth. It's extraordinary how someone can tell me that they know more about a topic that I've read various books about and studied under scholars. And it's just because they feel that way. I'm like, what books have you read on the topic? Oh, none. Well, why do you feel so strongly? Human beings are pathetic, and that's why I can't wait until most of them are replaced by technology. I hate having to deal with those who are unintelligent and unreliable. It's the human emotion that is so problematic. Shout out to Victor. He writes, good day, Marquette, Peace of the Saints. My question is, how many hours a day are needed to effectively utilize the knowledge from this practicum? If someone already works a 9-to-5 job, working 11 plus hours a day, by the way, I don't care about sleep. No, sleep is important. I just need to get this money. Yeah, getting this money is important and sleep is important. You need to do both. If you ever slack on the sleep piece, your emotions are not going to be correct. You're not going to be able to control the human machinery needed to be successful. So I highly recommend sleep. And you just have to go at your own pace. Here's the key to success. You might not be able to run as fast as you want. You might not be able to stay in the boxing gym as much as you want, but I tell you what, you get in there consistently, you're going to make great improvements. You're going to get over the line, and you'll be farther ahead than someone who never got in the boxing gym. So get in there, do it at your own pace. The beauty of the practicum is when you do have the freedom to actually be on that synchronous live session and ask the questions, that's dope. If you don't, you'll be able to benefit from seeing and hearing the people who did ask the question. That's why I'm doing it that way, as opposed to the pre-records, which are easier for me. A pre-record is way easier for me, but I want you to have the chance to struggle with the knowledge, to make mistakes in real time, find solutions in real time, and work through it as a business and as a corporation together. Because most of you coming into this thing, you lack corporate experience. And I can tell even most of the content creators, that's why I hate working with them, because they're not professional. They never had real jobs. They came straight into being a content creator, which is a fake job. And every time you do any freaking business with them, they're not on time. They're not professional. That they're not well organized. That's why I don't like dealing with these people, because they don't have any pedigree. Anyways, carrying on. Send in your comments, questions. Now let's talk about it. I got some notes here, like a bunch of them, just really scribbled out very quickly. So let's hit it. Now, here's some companies that are dead. Wix, they're dead. What does Wix do? They create crappy websites. They have easy to make crappy websites. They're done. Okay. WordPress. WordPress has been a phenomenal tool that I've used many times for many years. It allows you to create fairly basic websites and to enhance them with things called plugins, which are basically pre-created code that plugs into your existing website. And for people doing simple things like blogs, it's done a great job. Even if you're doing e-commerce. It's done a great job. It would always be ugly and not very well designed, but it would be functional. However, it's done. WordPress is done. There's a company called Cozy Cow. It can be used for scheduling. I currently use it for scheduling my consultations. You might also be wise to book a consultation over the next 48 hours, meaning like the last 48 hours, I've been working like a madman. And the next 48 hours, I'll be working like a madman. I don't want to talk to anybody. But at 2 days from now, you can schedule me from then on out. I'll talk to you. cozycow.com/SAN, I believe. Let me drop the link for you guys. But this company, which I currently use, is almost dead. Yeah, it's about to be dead. And I'll tell you why. You see, there it is. You can use that to book a consultation. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about, your family, your relationships, your business, your ambition, your romance, whatever you want to talk about. But this is what I use to schedule. You click that link. It'll take you to a place where you can schedule 1 hour online consultation. You could schedule in person. You could schedule me to be a guest on your podcast. You can schedule all kinds of things. One thing I like about that is that it automatically sends me a Google Calendar invite. So it gives you the time options. You pick one, and then it sends me a calendar invite. So it populates onto my calendar. So it first looks at my calendar and it finds the open slots and it populates onto both of our calendars, and we'll mutually have a calendar invite, and we can just click that button to join the Google Meet. It's pretty convenient. Now, here's the funny thing. I already rebuilt it. Marquette, what? Yeah, nigga, I rebuilt it. I already rebuilt it. Yeah, I rebuilt it myself. I'm debugging it right now. I need to make a note to go on and cancel the subscription. I already paid for a year, but I'm going to cancel the upcoming year. Now, here's the thing. People like me, I don't like to use my time doing things I can pay other people to do if it's going to take a lot of time. So I'll just pay somebody else and save my time. But now that AI development has become so efficient, yeah, I rebuilt it, nigga. I rebuilt their whole company, their whole product. I rebuilt it. Yeah, it just took me about like a day and a half. I'm testing it right now. And I'm not sharing it with anybody. I just rebuilt it for myself. That's how easy it was. I'm not even going to commercialize that. And the reason I'm not going to commercialize that, okay, yeah, bro, I'm about to damn near take you off of being a moderator. Now, I'm gatekeeping everything, bro. I'm gatekeeping everything. I'm about to block your ass. I'm about to mess around and block my moderator. No, we gatekeeping everything. Everybody ain't about to get this money. No, everybody ain't about to get this money. Point is this. So I rebuilt it, and they're making money off of it, which means theoretically, if I duplicated their technology, I could sell it. But I know that their technology and their company is going to crash soon. So I'm not going to get into a dying market, even though I could gobble up a couple bucks. I'd like to use my time for something smarter. I'm thinking about the long term. So I rebuilt it to save myself money, but not to commercialize it. Those kind of small tech solutions, by small tech, I mean, it's not sophisticated. You know, it is barely a standalone product. It's a one-trick pony, and that's good business. You want to create a one-trick pony if you can sell it. And Cozy Cow, I don't remember what I paid for it, but I want to say it was hundreds of dollars. If someone can check, let me know. I'll share with you guys what I was paying for it for an annual subscription. It definitely was not cheap, but I rebuilt it. And I for sure rebuilt it cheaper than it cost me to pay for it for a year. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, and Michael C. Yeah, I've been predicting everything. You guys saw how I predicted the fall of share price of Rumble. You guys took the short position, made money with your boy. Yeah, Cozy Cow, they're done. They're done. And any company like Cozy Cow, they're done. Other companies like say Google, they're about to thrive even more. They need to be broken up. They've already been a monopoly. I already discussed that in the previous video before the AI stuff was even prominent. Now, who else is about to go out of business? Book writers. If you write books, you're done. You're done. It's almost funny how much you're done. If you're a writer of any sort, like, oh, I'm a copywriter. No, you're not. You're unemployed. I'm an author. No, you're not. You're unemployed. What else? Who else does writing? If you're a script writer, screenplays, you're unemployed. Only the truly brilliant people in those industries will remain employed. And what they'll be doing is they'll still be using AI. They'll just be taking the AI and enhancing what AI produced. So it'll allow them to be faster at their work because AI is going to create the baseline and then they're going to take it to the genius level. Okay. They're going to do some of those nuanced things that AI can't do, or in some cases that AI won't do. For example, I stated earlier that AI is for the rule breakers, right? So, this new era is for the rule breakers. So, for example, say I want to write a script, and the script has racism in it, it has sexism, the script is has expletives in it. AI can't write that script. AI can only write a script that does not disrespect anyone because AI is politically correct. AI has so many rules built into the logic. And so the logic of this program and how the software operates, it'll never allow you to write a script that's edgy or racy or racist or sexist. With that being the case, if you're a rule breaker and you're gonna dance upon the razor's edge, you can still win. But most people are not rule breakers by nature. Most people are rule followers. They're not even rule benders. You heard me? They get crushed under the rules, huh? Yes, indeed. So all writers, you're done unless you're a genius, huh? He says Chat GPT is about to have an R-rated version. Are you speculating or is that a fact? There's already models that do allow you to do things that are racy. However, those models are just not as good as the popular models such as Chat GPT or Gemini. Music, we're done here. There will be no more new great musical artists. We're done here. Music is too easy to produce. What else? CRMs. Mind you, if you don't know what a CRM, if you don't know what a CRM is, shit, you already behind. You heard me? You already behind. CRMs, they're done. And the reason for that, and I remember coming up in corporate when we would buy, a Salesforce subscription, and a CRM is a customer relationship management tool. It basically takes all of your data from your customers and your pipeline, and it lets you see where the person is in the pipeline, helps you close deals. And one of the biggest challenges with Salesforce, for example, is very robust. It can do so many things. And I think Salesforce, I want to say, became a $1 billion company. But it was very hard to customize it. You damn near had to have one employee whose only job was organizing Salesforce such that it would work with your particular type of business. And now, being that AI is so responsive and so custom, you don't need Salesforce and you don't need to customize Salesforce. You can create your own homegrown CRM, and people will. Some people will sell them, but I don't think that they're going to be as useful as a subscription to just an AI agent or an AI developer. So with that being the case, CRMs are dead. Now, will Salesforce find a way to recast themselves? Of course. I mean, it's a $1 billion company. Why wouldn't they? Also, virtual assistants. Everybody in the Philippines, the Philippines, your whole country, you're fired. Yeah, you're fired. All virtual assistants, you're done. You're done. It's a wrap for you. Because anything you can do over a computer can do without you now. Yes, it's called AI, virtual assistants. You're all done. You're fired. I just fired the whole country of the Philippines. You're welcome. And if you want to learn, get my course, school.com, SKOOL.com/Marquette/ is it courses? I don't know. At least go to school.com/Marquette, click courses. It's a course on how to use AI, web development, AI agents, all the rest of it. You need it. Clip that. Carrying on. Let me get some water real quick. We getting into it. Send in your comments, questions. I just fired the whole country of the Philippines, but they should be thankful because I'm firing them before their employer is firing them. So at least now they have time to search for a new job, right? The whole country of the Philippines is basically virtual assistants, and they do a damn good job too. Better job than India, that's for sure. Peace of the saints. Kuda, Writes, bought the black box. Can't wait to read it. I put it up there with The Art of War and with The Prince. It's actually better than both of them. I swear to you. And I'll tell you why. I've read both of them. And in fact, I've memorized one of them and broken down the other one just beautifully. So I know what I'm going up against, and it's better than both of them. If you haven't got my book, The Black Box, I highly recommend it, and I'll tell you why. The Art of War was written by a Chinese general about war in a literal sense. Metaphorical, poetic language, very beautifully written, but not extremely applicable to your life today. Okay. Send in your comments, questions now. My time is winding down. I got some other things I want to do. So I'm going to put a limit on here for 30 minutes. Some things I think I want to do real quick. But anyways, The Art of War by Sun Tzu has some beautiful pieces to it. It says, do not punish soldiers before they are loyal. Very good advice. It says, do not fight soldiers who are on death ground, which is to say like they're back against the wall. Great advice. It says, in war, you should be formless. Great advice. It says you should leave and return again like the four seasons. Rise and fall like the sun and moon. When far, appear near. When near, appear far. Great advice. It has so many prescriptions that I can give you from memory. I know the book very well. And still, it's no comparison to The Black Box, because The Art of War will never inspire you. It'll never touch your emotions. You need emotions to actually do things in this world. I understand that. The Master Sun Tzu, I don't think he was writing that book to drive your emotions, but it turns out without emotions, you won't do anything. With regards to The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli, an Italian diplomat, it's a fine piece of work as well. It's even harder to apply to real life. It's even less practical. You have to remember that this book was essential, or this manual really was written for rulers. Are you a ruler? It talks about how if you are to rule over people who used to be in a democratic society, they used to know freedom, how they're going to be difficult to control. It talks about the different strategies. The most popular one you've probably heard of is that a ruler should not be hated. It talks about when hatred occurs, it'll be very hard to maintain your rule. It also juxtaposes the choice of being respected versus loved. It talks about how to deal with enemies and allies. And The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli explains that if there's a conflict between two parties, you should absolutely choose a side and stick to that side, whether they win or lose. Because if you were to stay on the fence, both sides are going to say, oh, I can't trust this guy because, he's not going to be a real friend. Even if you choose the losing side and lose with them, the winning side can respect you and say, well, if that guy becomes my ally, I know he's going to ride with me till the end. So it gives very wise things like that, meaningful prescriptions. However, I want you to understand that they're both inferior to The Black Box, because The Black Box is written about you, an individual, how you operate. The Art of War is for a military general. The Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince is for a king or a ruler. You're neither. I wrote this for you. That's the challenge of our day. People are not using things that are for them. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's a superior work by far. And also, I wrote mine to actually get you to take action. Those books were not written for that. They were written for people who are in specific capacities, who need practical steps to operate within that capacity. Thank you for that question. You can get The Black Box on Amazon. Type in The Black Box, Marquette Burton. And I don't say that to make myself a buck. I promote it because it took me 10 years to write it, and I wrote it for you. It is my testament for you. That's why. Frankly, I'd rather be in any other business than books. And that's not just because of AI. That's just because it's not unless you're like JR, whoever, or Tolkien, or whoever these like old white women are that write these fantasy books. You're writing 50 Shades of Grey type books. You're not about to make a pretty penny, no matter how good the book is. It's just not worth it. That's why I haven't come out with a second book. I got 2 books already written. True story. I got 2 other books. One is called The Near Future, and another one is basically The Black Box 2. I haven't even put them out because it's just not worth my time. You see what I'm saying? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Anyways, if you're, if you have other things you can do, I have a million other things I can do to make $1. It's just not worth it. Anyways, so I tell you that out of a sincere want for you to get something useful. Shout out to Travis. He says, for the how to deal with grief video, appreciate you. And shout out to the folks who are members. You can become a member at thesasson.com, thesasn.com. Click join. I think I'm all caught up with your comments, questions. Send them in. I'm gonna go through some of my notes. Okay. So music will continue, but all of the artists that you like will use AI to create music. There will be no new celebrities, no new famous people coming out. We mentioned virtual assistants, that's gone. Call centers and also salespeople. So if you work in a call center, can I release it as an ebook? It is an ebook. You can go to the Sasson. Well, you can get it on Amazon as a paperback, or you can go to the Sasson, THESASN.com, click products, and you can download the ebook and you can get it instantly. So anyways, call centers, those are done because AI can call, and unlike people of today, it won't have an Indian accent or a Filipino accent. However endearing you might find the Filipino accent. Those ladies always seem to be quite nice and pleasant. But you can choose the accent. You can have a British accent, an American accent, a Southern accent, whatever you like, whatever's going to be best for your market. It'll call, it'll sound just like a human. And more importantly, it'll have all the knowledge of your business. You don't have to pay to put the AI through professional development like you would with a human being. You don't have to worry about the AI hashtag me tooing you. And so it's such a better opportunity. And the AI can call around the clock. While the East Coast is awake, you can call everyone. And then when that time zone is up, you can have the AI use a different language model, or excuse me, not a language model, use a different language, Italian, German, what have you, Arabic, and then it can call other markets. Come on now. What? If you work and you do sales calling, or you're in a call center, man, you're so unemployed, it's not even funny. You're a jokester. Even adult content, for example, will be a lot less profitable because people, these disgusting animals who watch this stuff, will be able to customize what they see. And it'll increasingly move from the current nature of the content, pre-recorded, non-custom, and it'll move more so to the OF style because people are going to want something real. So they're going to want to know the person is real and things like that. So that market is parts of it are going to die, and then the pervs are going to shift more to the OF side of it, unfortunately. Currently, there are different AI models, and they're better at different things. And I don't think it's for a lack of the company having good engineers. I think it's the area they chose to focus on. I'm not going to tell you which model is good at what because I'm gatekeeping on purpose. I want you to stay broke. If you're not going to invest in yourself, I want you to stay broke. And in fact, anybody in my chat giving out too much information, I'm taking you out the chat. Yeah, we gatekeeping out here. And we ain't gonna make this easy for you. It's already easy enough. I mean, I remember when I was in the software business and I had to pay guys so much damn money, and they would work hard, and the productivity was still relatively slow. I tell you what, I can create single-handedly in the course of a day what would take engineers months to create. Good engineers, it would take them months to create just a few years ago. So yeah, it's already too easy for you, my boy. Someone said they sent a PayPal. I've been reading them all. I don't think I missed any of them. So I'm sorry about that, champ. I don't see any that I've missed. Is there anyone else who believes that they sent a PayPal that was overlooked? Oh, you know what? I see what the issue is. Nah, my fault. I got you right here. My apologies. Shout out to Victor. He writes, okay, Victor, I think I answered your question. Thank you. May I also acknowledge Andre. He writes, mindset is important, but what I need is action. See you inside the course. Oh, absolutely. That's what we all need. Action. He writes, I apologize for my scarcity mindset. It's time to review Boss Universe. Oh, absolutely. It's about the risk, man. Take the risk. Swing for the fences. I mean, goddamn, let's hit this home run, man. This is not, there are times to try to be safe and play it safe. This is not that time. You hear me? This is not that time at all. Shout out to Arthur. He writes, I never knew that you worked sales. What were some keys to your success in selling $4 million in software? Number one is figuring out that in my particular business that I was in, you could sell to one target and do a $10,000 deal. You could sell to another target and do an $80,000 deal. The processes were exactly the same, and the amount of time that it would take to get the deal closed was exactly the same. So unlike my colleagues who were working every lead that they got, I always reshuffled the list and I worked on the big ones first. I worked on the big ones first and I worked harder than everyone else. So whereas they might get a list of 10 leads and they'll work on the lead in the order that they came in, if I get 10 leads and I get a new lead and it's more interesting than what I'm already working on, I'm going to reallocate my time to the bigger opportunity. It depends on your business. You know, one thing we have to understand, especially if you're in the B2B space, your sales funnel is radically different. Your sales funnel, your channels are radically different based on the industry. I'll give you an example of what I mean. When I was working for another company, did 4 million in sales myself as a youngster. We were not technically selling. We were getting banks to sponsor deals that would benefit schools, schools, whether it was a university or a high school system or a public school system. So say we go to BBVA, I think it is, or we go to a Burger King in some cases, or we go to Bank of America. And there's something called the Community Reinvestment Act. And the Community Reinvestment Act requires banks to invest money back into the markets that they operate within. And so they choose where they allocate that money. And so I would basically give them an opportunity to invest using our software that teaches financial literacy. And so they sponsor the technology for the local university or for the local public school system or even a private school. And, they spend certain amounts of money. Now there's a minimum requirement. Say the minimum requirement could be 8,000. I give them to spend 60,000. It doesn't really matter. It's what they are willing to do. But here's what you need to understand. There was one specific officer that every bank has, and they have the same title in every bank because banking is a very regulated industry. So I knew exactly who to go talk to, and I knew that I had the leverage of this legal or regulatory thing that they had to comply with. So I knew exactly who to talk to. Here's the difference. When I started my own B2B company and we're selling to universities, private, public, large, small, accredited, unaccredited, we're selling enterprise software that could be used school-wide, it could be used department-wide, could be used in one classroom. And the person who makes the final decision on the dollar, they might go under the title of head of recruitment. They might go under the title of student retention. They might be the dean of the college, the president of the college. So creating a systematic way to approach that sale was very different than the previous one. So the truth is, if you're going to get great at sales and B2B, you have to refine your process in a way that's highly focused on your vertical and industry. There are very few things that you can cookie cut apply onto different industries in the B2B market because it's so unique. And also the deals are so freaking big. If you're really B2B, if you're not fake B2B, if you're real B2B, you really shouldn't be having a conversation with anybody unless it's a $10,000 plus conversation, right? Like if it's not a minimum of $10,000, you're not even B2B. You're just playing games. Okay. But anyways, thank you for that question. And that was a layup. Like the gentleman who had created that company, he was really plugged in with DC folks. I don't want to put too much of his business out there, but he was really plugged in with the folks in DC, and he had a unique insight, and he created a business model wherein the government was basically forcing banks to pay him. And because he grew up in the very 1% kind of situation, he was a good looking, reasonably young white guy who was charming and a wasp, and people wanted to associate with him and his family. They were happy to do the business with him. That's why his company grew so fast, when in actual fact, I didn't find it to be a terribly interesting piece of software. But what was very interesting was the revenue model. And I was fortunate to work under him because I saw how he led and I learned about revenue models. And I figured out that even though his software was the revenue model was excellent. And that's what I figured out when I started to get in the app business, was that that revenue model has to be excellent. And that's really the most important thing. Gentleman says, should I pay for Boss University first or the app course? I'd say just the fact that you're asking that question, Boss University, because you need to get into a boss's mindset. You really got to get your head together. You really do. But one thing I'm confident of is that the people who have taken Boss University and or the Book of Dark Truths, if they really soaked it up, they don't need to ask that question. There's no if. They already bought the course. And we're all at different levels, and that's fine. Sometimes it has something to do with the knowledge that you're exposed to. You guys often hear me say things like, I don't believe that therapy works. Like, mostly no one's getting healed. The most valid thing I've ever heard from a therapist is this. And this is ironic coming from a therapist, is people don't change. I know it's hard to believe a therapist said that. Yeah, people don't change. If you can accept that at some level about yourself and at some level about other people, you're going to really get on in this world. It's going to unlock so many things. You realize, like, oh, my mom, my dad, they're not going to change. I have to accept them for who they are. This girl I like, I want her to dress more modestly. I have to accept her for who she is. She's a slore. I have to accept that. Or you might be a woman. Oh, this guy I like, I just hope he gets his stuff together. He's not. People don't change, okay? So there's certain fundamental understandings. Once you have it, it unlocks so much for you. It's freeing. You see, Boss University and the Book of Dark Truths, they're those fundamental pieces of knowledge that it will free you. It will free you to operate effectively in this world. So it'll free you up to be ambitious. It'll free you up to be ruthless appropriately. So if you don't have those fundamental understandings, it's going to help you ingrain that so you can really function. A lot of you guys are not really functioning out here. You're stutter stepping. Don't stutter step. We're in a goddamn sprint and a marathon. During this marathon, parts of it, you got to sprint. But I assure you, if you're walking, you're not even in the race. If you're walking, you're not even in the race. Anyways, may I also acknowledge shout out to Tony and Gary supporting the work using the Stripe link. Shout out to Sean. He's been a long-time member. I also think Sean has the record, the super chat record. I think it's at $1,100, $111. Shout out to the ballers. You dig? Shout out to Danny. Just got the course. It was good to see you, Danny. Saw Danny recently. Exchanged some good, funny stories. Danny's always got a good story. Shout out to Anthony. He writes, bought the course. I currently work at Bank of America in the credit card department. Okay, that's very interesting. And my year's almost up to move to something else. What would you recommend to do alongside this course? What do you mean, like from a job perspective? Fintech is a fascinating space. Obviously, you're going to have to create tech that's more complex in terms of security protocols. So if I were you, if I could move around in the fintech and in the banking industry, especially the credit and debt side of things, oh man, you better stay there. That's a good space to be in. You're where the money's at. So I think that you're in the right place, and the banking industry will continue to exist. You better believe that. Other industries, you're going to see them fall flat. Banking and finance, they can adjust, right? Because they're propped up by government. Banks essentially are government institutions, so they're going to be fine. But some of the ones that I named, oh yeah, they're toast. They're gone. Thank you for that question. May I acknowledge, Das writes, is a laptop needed to do the course and to fully be able to capitalize on this opportunity to get rich? Currently do not have one. That's why I asked. Okay, Das, I tell you this. If you already bought the course and you don't have a laptop, I'm going to refund you, okay? And mind you, everything I do is non-refundable. I want everybody to know everything I do is non-refundable. I just don't have time. I don't have time for the refunds. But Daz, I'm familiar with you. If you already bought it, I'm going to refund you if you don't have a laptop, because I really want everyone who takes my course to fully benefit. And the truth is, when you're developing software, you want to be able to see it rendered on different screens. Okay. So you want to see it rendered on a full laptop screen, and then you want it to be what's called responsive, so that if you look at the same website from a laptop onto a mobile device, it reshapes and it relocates certain elements. Some may be hidden, they might be behind a hamburger menu. And you want to be able to see it on both screens when you're developing, so that when you push the product out, you know that the consumer is getting a good experience. So if you don't have both a laptop or a desktop or access to a computer, you're not going to go to a public library. If you're not going to do that, Daz, I want to give you a refund, because I really don't feel like you're going to get the greatest value from the course, and I want you to get the greatest value. Now, here's the truth. I will admit, you can do the course on your mobile phone. You can. But I just don't think that's the best way to do it. And I want you guys to have the best opportunity. So if you did pay that, I'm going to refund you. Okay. So just remind me, and I'm going to get you refunded. No problem at all. I'll be happy to do it. Gentleman writes, 2026 with no laptop is insane. It is and it isn't. You know, it is and it isn't. It is very hard to believe. I don't go anywhere without mine. However, that tells you a lot about yourself. If you don't have a laptop, you need to know that you're maybe not a tech. You're not into tech. So this probably wouldn't be the course that you're going to thrive in, or you're going to make something of. You might want to be in the tangible businesses, the product-based businesses, things you can hold in your hand. We have to be able to acknowledge, the 3-sentence Bible: be yourself, be good to yourself, be good to good people. Number one, be yourself, right? So if you don't own a laptop, you don't want to buy one just to take this course, because by merit of not having a laptop currently, it lets you know that you're not really into like computer type stuff, and that's okay. He says your microphone is picking up your swallowing. That's high tech. Yeah, it's a pity. Sorry about that, guys. Let me know if you guys want me to reduce the volume on the microphone. I might be able to do that for you. Anyways, great question, Das. That was a really good question. He writes, I know you said that this may not be for some people, but I have the ambition to be rich and willing to be fearless. Do you believe it's possible to make a win regardless of personality? It is, but it's just a matter of how much energy it'll take. He writes, I'm optimistic that I can do it. Just want your opinion. So I'm glad you asked, because that's a very important question. And the thing I really like about the question is that you're asking for yourself. You're acknowledging the uniqueness of yourself as an individual. So that being the case, I'd say probably it's not for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's many ways to make $1 million. This might not be your way. People make $1 million as comedians. People do it as software developers. People do it in tangible products. I mean, whoever's selling this product right here, these wet ones, multimillionaire. There's many different products you can create. So you just want to make sure that you're a shark in water, because a shark in water is dangerous, very much so unstoppable. But a shark outside of water is dying. So you don't want to be a shark outside of water. You have to swim where it makes sense for you. Some people might be good at something that you're just frankly not very good at. And, there are other areas where they're not good, but you have a special talent there. Anyways, the gentleman writes, I've never been deep into technology or software, but I have this excited feeling for some reason currently at work listening. Well, the opportunity to skyrocket your wealth is always very exciting. But one thing I'm very cautious to do is to maintain integrity and honesty. And that's why I always steer people away from Bitcoin, or just cryptocurrencies broadly, away from NFTs and all the nonsense, and away from get rich quick schemes. You might get rich quickly. This is just a fact. That's how the software business is. But it's not easy. It might be quick, but it's not easy. And it only feels quick in retrospect. You see, in my business, my software business, by the time it was really booming, I was like, man, that was awesome. That was easy. And when I thought back, I was like, whoa, I opened an office in Pangyo, South Korea. I opened an office in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I opened an office in Chicago, Illinois. I opened an office in Springfield, Missouri. I opened an office in St. Louis, Missouri. I opened an office in Erie, Pennsylvania. And I can go on. And then I just thought back. I was like, you know what? It felt like a ton of work, but that was only like 4 to 5 years. I actually did that kind of quickly. So in retrospect, it was quick considering all the things I did. But when you're in it, oh, it don't feel quick. And it feels like a lot of work, and it is. So you do get rich quickly, but not easily, if you understand the difference. And I hope you do. So this is not going to be easy, but it can be quick. Believe that. Bro says you can probably rent a laptop. Yeah, you probably could, but you have to realize none of you guys are 13 years old. So if you're 22, 23, 24, 25, 30, however old you may be, the fact that you don't have a laptop is a representation of your nature. So don't try to change your nature. There are minor modifications we can do, but we cannot change our nature. And the more you try to go against your nature, the more exhausting certain activities will be. Like me, I'm a freedom loving person. Anything that does not allow me to have freedom is not going to go well. I'm going to struggle immensely. In fact, even if you're an intelligent person, if you start doing something that you don't find engaging, your ability to appear intelligent will decline because you're going to be disengaged. You're going to look foolish because you won't be paying attention. The gentleman writes, I do not have a laptop because I loan money and rent out vehicles on apps. I haven't needed it. Fair enough. Yeah, and I would say now is not the time to start. Now is not the time to reinvent yourself. Now is the time to play to your strengths. Okay. And this is, these are Boss University type of conversations. If you have Boss University, review it. I address these kind of conversations. Shout out to Jan Carlos. He writes via Venmo, I just got back my CCNA certification to apply for a network engineer job in IT. How do you think these jobs will fare with AI? Will knowledge from these jobs help with your course? Yeah, I mean, I just think thinking in technical ways, of course, is going to help. I think that'd be a better question for a network engineer. That is very much so not the kind of software I've been into. And when someone might say, I'm in IT, what exactly, right? It's just so vast. And it would be foolish of me to suggest that I have enough familiarity with that part of IT to tell you what software is going or AI is going to do to it. I have not the foggiest idea. I hope AI doesn't do much to it because I have a lot of good friends, a lot of saints who are in network engineering, and they'd probably be better people to ask if they've made some significant forays into AI and AI development. Carrying on. May I acknowledge Mr. Chambliss? He writes, just started watching this live stream. Shout out to SAS in LA section. Shout out to SAS in New York section. Absolutely. Shout out. I also acknowledge Austin writes, thank you. You are welcome. And I thank you for the support. Mario comes back. He writes, I'm an accountant, just recently graduated, seeking a CPA. Will AI interfere with my goal? Is AI going to kill it? Listen, man, India killed accounting. You don't even need AI to kill accounting. India, the country, yeah, they killed accounting. Nah, Brody. Listen, I wouldn't send anybody to do it. Carrying on. Acknowledge Omari. He writes, for the knowledge and your time. Thank you. You are welcome. I also acknowledge the good news. If you're in accounting, that means that you can deal with things that are fairly dry, which is very much so what you're going to deal with in the tech sphere. So I think you have a great mind to be successful in many things. I would not recommend AI accounting because of India and because of AI collectively. You're in a numbers business. There will be certain aspects of accounting that, will remain, but I think that field will contract. And that is something that I'd be worried about. So I don't find it to be an interesting place to run to currently. Shout out to Jabrizi. He writes, history forgets this. Ancient magic made people powerful and rich, so its knowledge stayed hidden. AI is the same. Modern magicians don't share prompts or processes. Bruh, tell that to your boy Mitchell. He writes, some even run systems offline because a magician never reveals secrets. You ain't lying. Man versus machine is really man versus engineers. Bars. Shout out to my boy. He further writes, before psychology, there was psyche. Before chemists, there was shamans. There were shamans. Before propagandists, there were magicians. Invisible arts have always shaped fate. AI belongs to those who look inward, not outward. This man right here This man, I just imagine this nigga was sitting on top of a mountain with clouds surrounding him as he typed that up. Shout out. My nigga Mitchell letting too much of the sauce go. Hell nah. Anyways, may I also acknowledge Caleb writes tuition, Peace of the Saints, came in via Venmo. Shout out to Anthony. He writes, I mean credit card customer service. Oh, well, if you're doing customer service, yeah, bro, that's an L. If it's just customer service, yeah, that's probably an L. Now, here's the good news. You're in the right, you're in an interesting industry: credit, debt, fintech, cybersecurity, self-driving cars, insurance, self-driving vehicles, personal flight vehicles, like drones that human beings can be in, like vertical flight vehicles. Those are all the interesting industries that come to mind immediately. So if you can take some insight from there and apply it to a tech product, you're going to be in a strong position. He says, so I think I would need to get skills to get into fintech regarding credit cards. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to need some skills. And I tell you what, AI is actually customer service dead. Yeah. If you're in customer service, that's dead, my boy. But here's the thing: when AI takes over customer service, oh, it's going to suck as a consumer. Customer service is going to get terrible for the most part. Interesting. Customer service is going to get terrible for the most part. If you guys want to continue this conversation, I'm willing to do it. I'll shut down this stream and then I'll restart it on Kick. I'll let you guys, that is kick.com/Marquette Devon. But I did say I was going to end this one inside of 2 hours. So I am going to keep my word. If you want to continue on, you can note in the chat. And if we have enough people who want to watch on Kick, then I'll do it there. That'll be kick.com/Marquette Devon. So if you want to watch it on Kick, just populate a 1 into the chat, and then I'll be on Kick shortly to resume this session. If we don't have many people, then we'll just call it a day. Okay, yeah. All right. So go ahead, head over to Kick. I'll be back live in about 5 minutes. kick.com/Marquette Devon, as you see indicated on the screen. I'll give you guys about 5 minutes or so to get set up on Kick or get to the website, what have you. Peace of the Saints.